Fellas, welcome to the Average Joe Show. I'm Sam.
I'm Amy.
And as always, alongside with us, we got Hayden. Say hello.
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 Just as no.
No.
No thanks, I'm good.
Don't worry, we have the neighbors walking around upstairs. Hello.
Right on cue.
Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, fellas.
Good to touch you.
Today we have a great video up. We got a great episode in the works.
It's fine. It's fine.
It is.
We have a new series, I guess.
It's not a
Kinda.
new series. We're adapting our movie reviews because we're just like, we don't want to cram 25 freaking movies in one episode where we do a yearly recap of what we watched.
Yeah.
But instead, we're doing a monthly recap.
Yeah, even though we didn't watch anything January.
Yeah, so
we've only watched one thing in February.
Yeah, so well, that's the beauty of this time of year where nothing happens really.
I mean, we could have watched Cocaine Bear.
I really didn't want to.
I want to though. I want us to watch it together.
Oh, okay. But yeah. So today our monthly recap is on Quantumania. Amy, what you drinking today? Well, first, where did we go today?
Thirst. Because we're thirsty. Oh.
Okay, we haven't recorded earlier like this in a while, and I was up late last night.
He has no energy. I got all the energy.
No, I just am not having it.
Yeah, that's what that means. I got a Death Star. It's Dr. Pepper, blackberry, and coconut.
I got the Fresh Prince. It has lemonade, raspberry, strawberry, fresh lime, fresh lemon, and frozen mixed berries. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
But good. What'd you get, Hayden?
I got a Bluebell, which is Mountain Dew, blue cacao, coconut, passion fruit, and coconut cream.
Nice. It looks kind of green, though.
I'm green.
Yeah.
Don't worry
green
about it.
like a
Don't
bean.
worry about it.
It's
I'm a
green.
mean, lean
Why is it green?
Fighting machine.
I don't know. Nothing green in it.
Just the combination of the colors.
Yeah. I mean, the Mountain Dew is kind of green, I guess. Well, I guess
Like
blue
yellow.
and yellow.
Yeah.
Light green.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a pretty good
You hear
thought
that,
process.
primary colors? That's a pretty good idea.
Mix each other.
Secondary colors.
You know what? Secondary
We're not gonna
colors?
talk about
Tertiary
Yeah,
colors.
he stole the joke from me. I was gonna say we're not gonna talk about tertiary colors.
What goes after tertiary?
Nothing.
Everything. Everything and nothing at the same time.
Whoa.
It becomes a gradient.
That's pretty psychedelic, brother. Well, let's just get into it, you know? So Antman Quantumania is a movie.
Yeah.
It came out February of 2023.
Yeah.
It kicks off Phase 5
Yeah.
and introduces us to the baddie of the timelines
The
of the
baddie of the bads.
the big bad.
Ugh.
And they go to the quantum realm, and it's
Whoa.
pretty wild, I guess. Or at least that's what the trailer says it's supposed to be. So basically, Antman, he's like, I'm pretty good at life, I guess. My daughter isn't,
My
though.
life is pretty good.
But yeah,
He's living his best life.
yeah,
His
everybody.
daughter following in his footsteps by not having a great life, by being a thief.
She wasn't
Whoa.
a thief.
No, what'd she do?
She was a protester.
Oh. What the cuss, brother? I don't know what the heck's happening.
She got arrested for fighting a cop, I think, and stealing. No, she stole a cop car.
She shrunk a cop car and then stole it.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was like one thing that she did. Because it felt like she did something else. Because then the other cop like ran up just like, hey, you just shrunk my car. She's like, what car? And throws his car at him.
Proceeds to get hit. Like okay. Never mind. Well, yeah, no. Having somebody, imagine throwing a small car at somebody, like something that's Hot Wheel size, but like the whole physics of Ant-Man is that he still like maintains like the force that he
Getting...
a little cop car
and proceeds
for
yeah.
Oh my
legit.
gosh.
Like they proceed to take the same amount of damage from getting hit by a real car or like a life-size car.
Dude, that's pretty good.
Yeah. I was about to say Kate Bishop just killed people, but that's not her name. It's Cassie.
Yeah.
Cassie Lang.
Ugh.
Also, yeah. So as we're not talking about spoilers, we proceed to talk about the most important plot point.
Someone getting a car thrown at him.
Yeah. But yeah. They do a little experiment and they do a little
Cassie's been doing a science project.
yeah, she's been doing the science with the not grandpa that Hank Pym is, and they proceed to go into the quantum realm and they get zucked out of this realm and goes into the next realm. And they experience the quantum realm where they meet supposedly fun characters, and this guy who nobody knows about, and he's so mysterious and scary, but they won't talk about him. But his name is Kang. We've known about him since Loki, and Loki was good.
Loki was like one of the first shows that has ever come out, and I'm pretty sure most of everyone has watched it.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah. General consensus of the movie, I thought it was okay.
Yeah. I mean, I watched like a few videos while getting ready this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just watched one, but they're saying like they're trying to be like experimental with it, like trying to make it like more sci-fi, but then they didn't do like the best job of it. But it's nice seeing that they're gonna be like branching out into like different genres other than just action. But I think it's weird to have it start off with Ant-Man. And like I feel like Ant-Man was just like, I feel like all of his movies have been like a breath of like fresh air with like all like the craziness happening all around, and he's like in his own little world just being like, yeah, look at me, I'm Paul Rudd, I'm living my best life.
I'm playing the drums and I'm learning magic.
Yeah. I only, like someone described it as like, he like all of a sudden is now doing like super big like stuff when he was like mostly contained to like being like a neighborhood like superhero.
Yeah. Well, when you can turn big like that, you can probably be better than a small little neighborhood hero, which you see that he is bigger than that. which actually he's smaller because he goes into the quantum realm, which is very small. But he's bigger, but he's smaller.
When he's in the, I feel like in this one he gets big a lot, but
He gets big.
he gets big.
But he's still smaller than what he usually is.
I know, but I'm like, how big do you think he is?
He's pretty small.
He's rat sized.
No.
I know.
He's not even close to rat size.
He's the size of an atom.
Um,
Whoa, probably not that small.
Probably that small or even smaller.
I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah. There's some aspects I actually liked of it. But I don't know. I think the direction where the MCU is going, like their storyline, I think is good. But this movie, I think, had a lot going. I had a lot of expectations going into it, but it wasn't like Thor: Love and Thunder, like bad.
Yeah.
But like I was like super pumped for Love and Thunder, and then I just was super unimpressed and hated the movie. While in this, I had expectations going into it that it was going to be cool and whatnot, and there was some cool bits, but it was mostly just an okay time.
Yeah, and I think also, since this is just a small piece of, like out of the whole puzzle that's coming out of this, like the big picture of it, I feel like this is like the very beginning, and we're like in between stuff right now, that it's like it's hard to say how much like this is gonna affect the future, how it's gonna tie in, because we don't know yet.
It's totally affecting the future.
Well, I mean, it's like, ooh, Kang, whoa, like that's probably like the biggest thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like it's just like it's like in like a weird like part of it. Like it's in like an in between spot where like we kind of know what's happening.
Like timeline wise.
Not like timeline, but like, or yeah, I guess like just knowing like what's gonna come up, or like it's just like introducing stuff so we don't know exactly what's happening.
I'm gonna be very honest. I don't know exactly what's happening with halfway through that comment, but
Me too.
But
the train has left the station, and I don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
I think it's. Editor, we'll sum it up with this. I don't know where it's going quite yet, but then I don't want to be mean and be like, this one sucks because it doesn't tie into anything. Because we haven't seen everything quite yet. I think I need the bigger picture.
I think that's funny because I have the exact opposite. I'm like, okay, we know where we're going with this. And like with this movie, that sort of starts the storyline of what is going to happen leading up to the next two Avengers movies. Because, I don't know, like I've seen a lot of stuff where you'll see Kang in a lot more movies, and like the next Shang-Chi movie is going to have Kang in it, and there's going to be multiple Kang variants, and so that'll be interesting.
Is that like a for sure thing?
I saw. I got it from Instagram, but
sick.
I've seen a few things on that, and so I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be like.
I feel like all the information, like of all the information that we get about stuff, it's like that has like come true for the most part. Like I just think of Peacemaker, where like a year before Suicide Squad came out, or the Suicide Squad, like while they were making it, or like towards like it being released, they're talking about like, yeah, we're making a Peacemaker show, and like they did make a Peacemaker show, but it's like I don't know. I feel like that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, well, this is what they've been saying. And so far, all the stuff that has been said has come true. So it's like...
Well, you can trust some stuff on that.
Yeah.
But we also heard that Thor: Love and Thunder was the greatest Taika Waititi movie that would ever be made, and then it wasn't. But
I think that was just marketing, to
yeah.
be honest.
Yeah. But I guess let's just
Should we go into spoilers?
yeah. Well, before we do, I recommend go watching it because it's probably gonna be really important to the plot of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
So I would watch that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's move on to more spoiler talk and just deep dive into the movie.
Zooey Mama.
Yeah, Zooey Mama indeed. Thank you, Rowley from
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah. Zooey
I-
Mama.
I will say that the effects in this, like, there's some where it's like, oh, this does not look good. They're green screen. But then other times it's like, you know what, this looks pretty alright. Like, I know that everything's fake in here, but they did good with what they had.
Yeah, that's my thoughts on Roderick Rules as well.
Yeah.
Were you just talking about the first Diary of the Wimpy Kid, like book or movie?
Stop. Wow.
Like where Manny is, like he doesn't look accurate at all. I'm not a big fan of it. Greg Heffley, he looks fine. He looks like an old man in the like.
He's a punk.
That's Roderick, Amy. Don't disrespect Roderick and
Roderick rules. We've already established this.
Yeah, but he's a punk rocker.
No, but
Playing for Loaded Diaper.
But yeah, effects in this, pretty alright. They're not super terrible. I feel like when you first go into the quantum realm, it's like, duh. Oh, baby, this...
Oh, baby in trouble.
Everything's all fuzzy. Like, it's like the characters were, like, super clear, but then everything else was, like, super blurry. And I was like, oh, sick, dude. But yeah, later on, it's like, okay, this isn't that bad.
Yeah. Well, seeing, like, pictures from, like, looking at, like, pictures again, like, we watched the movie, like, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, and, like, opening night
yeah,
that came out.
And it was like, so I don't really like quite remember like the visuals too much, but like seeing pictures of it after the movie has come out and whatnot, and like hearing what people have had to say about it is that like, oh, there's so many reds, purples, and yellows in the background that you like get mixed up with like the characters because they are all wearing red, yellows, and
yeah, like
purples.
Everything just blends in.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like nothing really sticks out. It's not really like a Guardians of the Galaxy movie where everybody's characters just pop out and whatnot. And
yeah, like how the space is like nice, like cool colors, like purples and blues. Then you have like Gamora, who's like bright green, red haired, and like everyone's wearing more reds in that.
Yeah. And I guess that was. I wonder if they had like two different teams working on like one working on like the background and the other working on like the characters, and then they just didn't coordinate on like.
Or I wonder if that's not exactly what they wanted, like everything to blend in, but like I just think of the Pym gang and them running around doing stuff. Like they get stuff to like blend into like the people around them.
Oh, the
And,
Pym
like,
gang meaning like everybody, yeah, the Antman group.
Well, like cause there's like Hank, Mom, and
Hank, Hope, and Janet.
I was like, please be another H name, please. But yeah, there's that group, the Pyms,
Oh,
and
I
then
think her name's
there's
Javier actually.
Javiera.
Hank, Hope, and Javier. But spelled with an H, not an X.
But yeah, there's another can of worms I want to get into. But, like, I feel like with the Pims, like, with them blending in, like, I think it was like, yeah, the point is the clothing that they get from, like, the group of people, they're supposed to blend into, like, their surroundings. And it's like, but that doesn't make good visuals, though. Like, if they were wanting to do something like that, I feel like it would be more like we're sneaking into the embassy. Whoa, look at us go. Whoa, sneaky. But then it's like, no, that's not what they did.
I think it's...
Also, Janet was annoying me the whole movie.
Janet was...
Janet!
Janet? Gosh dang it, Janet.
Good Lord, Janet!
I saved that one for you.
I was saving that one for you.
That's what movie is that? Because
I can't remember.
It's Masterminds
Mm.
with Zach Galifianakis and
What's her name? It's Cheetah.
No,
it's not. No,
it's the girl from SNL who is also in Ghostbusters.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
And she just rips one on Zach Galifianakis, and it just...
They know. Don't worry.
No, not a lot of people know the Masterminds movie. It's not a big movie.
But everyone knows that part.
No?
Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, look at these 80s inspired pictures. Or 70s, whatever. Just their awkward photos that they did at that part.
Well, I don't think anybody knew. Okay.
Anyways.
So, like, I remember when Zach Galifianakis' character came into Antman, and he said, "Good Lord, Janet," too.
Well, he was sitting next to us in the theater. For some reason, he took my spot. So he was, like, in between all of us. And he kept getting mad each time that she was like, it's him. Or it's like, oh, I'll tell you later. He was like, Good Lord, Janet.
Good Lord, Janet, just tell us.
He was very loud in the movie. It was kind of annoying. But he did share his popcorn with me.
That's good. Good.
But he kept drinking my soda, though.
My soda pop.
Yeah, my soda.
Okay. Michelle Pfeiffer, she's I don't remember in a lot of stuff other than her being Catwoman in the Batman movie.
Batman Returns?
No, the Batman.
Dude.
Okay, wait, we need to stop. Yeah, Batman Returns.
What do you mean what do you mean we need to stop? You started it.
I know.
And we just got here. We just started.
But
I will say the editing is pretty terrible towards the beginning of them being in the quantum realm. And by editing, I'm meaning like the placement of scenes. Because we have like the Pims and the Antmans. I was going to say the ants.
the Pims and the Langs.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But we got those two separated. And like... They just, like, cut from both of them at weird spots. Because, like, at one part, it's like, you're with the Langs and they're running around and they're like, the sun is coming towards us! And then they get attacked and then they're running away and then it cuts to the Pims and they're like, we need to go find that. Or it's like they're like, oh, there's a big thing up there and we need to hide. And then they hide. And they're like, no, we need to find Scott. And then it cuts to the Langs and they're like getting captured by the group of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like that whole thing is just weird, but just like them cutting between the two.
Yeah.
It's like we spend 5 minutes like with each of them. And it's like, okay, just get these two Pym scenes, combine them together, and then cut back to the Langs and combine these two scenes together so that it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, each time you'd go back to the Pyms, they, like, each time, like, before it'd cut back to the Langs, they're always like, we need to find Scott! And, like, they say it, like, 3 separate times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, each time that it goes back and forth, and it's like, this this is terrible. I could have edited this. And I don't know how to edit that well.
Well, I think... Well, you have an editing team, so it's hard to, like, work with... Like, it's hard to have only one central idea and having... I don't know. There were probably a lot of conflicting ideas that came together, and then whoever was in charge of like the editing team was just like, let's just stick with this.
But the whole point in working as a team and like getting the whole team, you got to make a plan. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's go team. Or it's like before we start doing this, they can all discuss it and. I don't know, it just feels weird that it's coming from such a big budget movie and coming from a studio like Disney where I feel like they would like be like super, not like strict about that kind of stuff, but just
very particular.
Yeah, like them wanting to make things perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you would think that someone would have been like, oh, this kind of looks weird. Like, before they have it, like, completely, like, oh, full movie, let's go. Like, they would, like, look at those scenes one after another, like, how they have it edited, and someone would be like, oh, this is kind of weird. Like, we should do this. And then they would discuss it and then do whatever they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a weird decision of, like, just having it cut like that.
I don't know, like, I think the first half was just weird with the editing, and then it, like,
yeah,
like, then once, Antman ran into King, it was all fine, and whatever.
Yeah, and after Bill Murray. Also, Bill Murray was such a letdown, he was just in there for 5 minutes.
It makes me not like Bill Murray, you know? I don't like think what he's done recently. Bill Murray is like we could probably just transition and just talk about the characters at this point. But yeah. Bill Murray, I think he is one of those people that just goes in for the money. He's just like, oh, I'll do this thing, and then just walks in, says his lines, and then just walks out.
Yeah.
And like
I sit here and I wonder if there's just not like there's like all the stuff that people are wanting him in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like most of them are like, oh yeah, you're just here as like a reference to things, or like you're just here as a cameo.
Mm-hmm.
And like he knows it, so he's like, you know what, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then, because I feel like with French Dispatch, even though he wasn't in it for super long, I feel like he was like good in that. But I think he's just been so tainted by being like, people just want me for my cameo. No, so like I don't really get to do my fun stuff.
I think he's honestly just become lazy and will probably just, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of him. Just stuff that I feel like I've seen him in. He's just not giving it 100%, and it just doesn't feel like how he was in Ghostbusters or like Caddyshack or anything that he was in.
And like, who knows, it might just be age.
Yeah.
Because I sit here and I'm like, oh, he probably does it because he needs the money. But then I'm like, he's been in a lot of big, good things.
Oh, so man, I feel like he needs the money. He's a celebrity that has millions of dollars.
I know, that's why I'm saying, like, he doesn't need it. So, like, I don't know. But, like, it makes me sit here and be like, poor guy isn't, like...
He's not having living fun. In the slums right now. Oh my gosh.
No, he's just not having fun doing something that he was really good at. It's become like, I don't know if he's passionate about acting and stuff and movies. Mm-hmm. But it's like he lost the passion for it and is now just sees acting stuff.
Mm-hmm. He's doing this more of a job than a...
Yeah, which sucks. That's sad. Like, I feel like that with anyone is, like, not fun. But yeah, I sat there and I was like, bro, I hope they just make him just Bill Murray. Like they totally wouldn't, but just being like pulling a Zombieland, being like, yep, guys, it's Bill Murray. Bill Murray playing Bill Murray as Bill Murray.
They're just like, yo,
Like
they
that.
just walk in and Hank's like, wait a minute, this is where you've been, Bill?
Oh my gosh, Bill Murray!
We haven't seen you in like 30 years. And he's like, well, I've been here. Chilling with your wife.
Oh my gosh.
Holy didn't have sex with you. And,
Oh, dude. Yeah, I was... Oof. Also, I think it's funny how they made it a point where it was like, he got everyone the drinks that had like the little creature thing in it, and then he like eats it real weird. And then like a few minutes later when they're leaving, look, he eat the little creature, and then they make it big, and then it eats him. Whoa! It's like, oh, sick, dude. You could.
You didn't need to say anything like that, or like they made some weird like little line reference or something. Or
Yeah,
Bill
or
Murray's
it's
like, interesting.
I don't get why they get people in this and then kill them off like super quick. Cause like, I feel like when, I don't know, at least to me, if like when I first heard that Bill Murray was in this, and like how people like when Jeff Goldblum was in Ragnarok, and they were like, oh yeah, Jeff Goldblum is related to the man from the Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Collector.
Yeah, like those two were related, and I was like, oh, maybe Bill Murray's related to them too.
Nope.
Well, yeah, obviously not, but it's like they could have used him for another thing. Like he didn't feel threatening. He just felt like a rich guy that was there.
He was like a lesser version than Sylvester Stallone's character in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I also thought I wasn't a big fan of his character in Guardians. He was like,
I know he's
like
the yeah.
He's like, you don't deserve the Ravager armor. You don't. I'm Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Dude, when is he gonna be in a Marvel movie?
Dude, he's too busy not being the governor of California anymore. I was about to say he's too busy.
They're too busy making him Mr. Freeze in the next The Batman movie.
Bro. You know how wild that would actually be? Okay.
That'd be so fun.
But...
Okay, sitting here and just like with last week doing the Justice League Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And how you were like, yeah, we got Jesse in here, gotta get Mr. White in here. And I sit here like, yeah, Mr. Freeze, baby, they can be the little frosty boys.
Oh my gosh.
We don't need to keep that in, but
yo,
I just
Mr. Freeze.
Yo, Mr. Freeze.
Okay.
I got this ice gun here.
Okay.
Let's freeze the population together.
Oh my.
Wow. Jesse. I only care about my wife.
My wife, Nora.
No, you gotta do it.
No, I only did the Arkham.
You were tainted by the Arkham games by just being like, Nora.
I want my Nora. But we're not here talking about Nora and Mr. Freeze and the Arkham games and Arnold
And my dad, Bryan Cranston.
Slap kills. You slapping your leg is what gets me. We're getting sidetracked.
Yeah.
So other fun characters. Let's go through some other characters. The
whole man, the holy man.
The whole man.
The unholy man.
Yeah. Okay. Dude, we can just talk about that group of people.
Okay, first off, when the credits were going and what's that actor's name? He's the guy that's the Russian friend in this. Which, like, where are the friends? Where are they? What's happening? Rhetorical question. Don't answer me. But
they weren't needed in the movie. That's why.
Huh?
They weren't needed in this movie, so.
But that connects them. It's like the guy that the guy that I was watching this morning that was talking about this movie, who's saying like, Yeah, they've like cut out all the people from all the other, like from the first Ant-Man movies. It's like they wanted to separate this movie from those two.
No, Amy.
Because they kicked out like the friends, and then they got like all like just a bunch of the characters from the first one.
No, Amy. They
other
brought
than
back,
the Baskin Robbins guy.
They brought back everybody who was important, Amy. They brought back Baskin Robbins' employer. They brought back
Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, and they brought back Baskin Robbins' Paul Rudd. That's all we need. And guess what, Amy? They also brought Yellow Jacket back.
They also brought Stan Lee back.
Wait, what?
When he calls him Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that was Stan Lee. Yeah. That was a great. Yeah.
So confused.
Spider-Man.
Thank you, Spider-Man.
Do you think that was supposed to be Stan Lee?
Probably.
Oh yeah, that could have totally been a Stan Lee scene.
What if Marvel's new plan for Stan Lee cameos is finding guys that looks close enough to Stan Lee?
No.
What, just an old man with longer hair?
No.
And then so
I would
Marvel
rather...
fans are just like, wait, is that supposed to be Stan Lee every time there's a new movie that goes?
No.
Okay, can we do? Okay,
I would rather have the dumb idea of just being like, yeah, have Deadpool replace him with all the cameos.
No,
I like that more than this idea.
No, I think this is.
I don't like the Deadpool idea.
So, tune in for our next episode where we go for 5 minutes ranking all of the Stan Lee potential cameos.
Dude, the potential cameos?
Yeah,
not even the ones from before, just all the potential ones that could happen.
Yeah, we're gonna spend like 5 minutes on it. Everything after Captain Marvel, all of the cameo things where.
No, he's in Endgame. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. When they go back in the 70s, and when they were first like, dude, look, it's the 70s, and it's Stan Lee in his car, and he's like, peace and love, baby, and he's like driving away.
Are you sure that's him?
Yes, that is him.
Okay, I've only seen the movie.
He's wearing a wig. He's wearing a wig to make him look younger, and sunglasses.
No, well, I thought his last thing was Captain Marvel when he was on the bus, and he's just like, I'm old man.
I think, no.
And then she proceeds to deck his wife.
She decks him in the face.
No.
I know. She punches the old lady. But no, he was in Endgame.
Okay.
Even though, in Endgame, that one... I feel like the best Stan Lee cameo post his death was Into the Spider-Verse. But also, I feel like that movie came out right after he died, so just seeing him and being like, yeah, I'm gonna miss Spider-Man. He was my friend, and just whenever, I remember when that part came on, in the theater, and, you could feel everyone just being like, Stan Lee! And just being sad. Even though he was a punk, and he's like, yeah, it always fits. There's no returns.
Oh, yeah.
The suit always fits.
Well, that's probably what he would have been when...
But he's a fun kind of punk. Not like Greg. No, like Gregory.
Manny was more of a threat. He was more of a punk.
He was more of a threat. A threat is better than a punk. Are you seeing if he's in it?
No.
No. Is Stan Lee in Endgame? Sam, he is. It's when Tony and Steve go back and they're like, there's pin particles at this time, and then Hank Pym's like, it's crazy hair maybe? I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm dying. I know that he was in the movie though.
He was. Okay, I was wrong. It's whatever.
Point proven.
Okay. But his best cameo was in Teen Titans Go.
What do you mean? Where?
He was in Teen Titans Go. He's
the movie or the show? What's happening?
The show. The movie.
Dude, I remember I watched that movie. I remember watching it, but then I don't remember. watching it.
Okay. Well, anyways, back to other great characters in the movie.
Oh yeah, but the unholy man.
No, let's just talk. Okay,
no, he's voiced by the guy that plays the Russian friend in the other ones, and I remember sitting there watching the credits and seeing his name pop up, and I was like, "Hey, wait a minute, where were you?" Because I didn't recognize him as unholy man.
Is that what his name is?
What do you mean?
Is that what the character's name is?
No.
Okay.
He's just the guy that's obsessed with holes.
I know. I don't like calling him the unholy man.
And we can call him Goop.
Yeah, we'll call him Goop.
Goop. Gwyneth Paltrow also makes a cameo. His friends with Goop. This is my son, Goop. Wow. Anyways.
Well, the whole group, that whole like rebellion group, they were okay. I thought the guy who
they weren't fleshed out enough. Like they looked interesting. Like they had interesting designs. Like the guy that was like just like a tube for a head and would shoot lasers.
Mm-hmm.
Like I liked his design. But then he dies, and I'm like, cool, I'm never going to see this boy ever again.
I didn't have a problem with him dying. I had a problem with him speaking. I did not like that.
I can't remember how he talked.
He's just like, we should torture them. I'm like, chill. But that's like his whole personality, which that would work.
All of those characters are one note, which is like, they could have just fleshed them out more. Because they also just popped out of nowhere. Like, it makes sense that they're there, but then, like, just how they led up to them meeting the group of people was kind of random.
Well, I think he should have, I think they should have made, I don't know, they should have fleshed out, like,
I think it would have been interesting if they were, like, the same group of people that, like, the Pims ran into. No, because they hate the Pims. Never mind.
Yeah. I think all they really should have done was make the one leader, like the girl who looks like a cave woman kind of deal.
She kind of looks like the lady that like gets obliterated by the helicopter in the Suicide Squad.
The lady that gets obliterated by
at the very beginning. She's like only in the movie for like 10 minutes. She's part of she's part of like group A who like everyone dies.
Right.
Other than Harley.
I can't think of what she looks like, but it doesn't matter. But I think she could have been a better character. They could have been like, I don't know, they should have done more with her.
They could have fleshed out all of those characters more.
Okay,
or like just doing the three of... Actually, no, I like the mind reading guy.
He was okay.
Yeah, well, like, it's like he's just, like, I feel like that'd be an interesting character to, like, get more out of. But since there's just a big group of people that were all one-note characters... That it's like, okay, we don't need all these people. Just sum it up to, like, these three. And then those people can have, like, more of an impact. So, like, just, like, get, like, a few people. Make them have, like, their own little camp. And then they capture the boys. And then they get more fleshed out. Do stuff. And then they go to, like, the big village where it's, like, these are the people that we're protecting. And then it has, like, the living buildings. And, like, a bunch of other stuff.
I think, well, thinking about it now, I think they could have gotten rid of that entire group, not worried about them.
Yeah.
And then instead of Antman and Cassie going and meeting up with them first, they get captured by like Kang instead, and it just skips that entire portion.
But then Cassie doesn't do her thing of just protesting.
I don't know. I don't know if it's that important, but
I mean, like, I feel like that ties more into it than whatever the Pims were doing.
I think
Like the whole Pim storyline was just being like, oh yeah, the Janet had a lot of powerful friends, and now everyone hates her. When it's like they could have just had like all of like the rebel people being like, oh yeah, Janet, we hate her. She did this to us. Like they didn't like, I don't know.
Well, I think what they could have done is instead you could still have the Bill Murray group. Bill Murray could have had a better role, where you could have been like the
like he's like a second to
Pims.
command to.
Well, and
like just
probably not even that, but like more of just like a bigger role in the plot line being like, oh, Janet meets up with Bill Murray, and Bill Murray's like, hey, where have you been? It's been a while and whatever, and then you find out that they've been taken over by Kang, and Kang is still bad, and Bill Murray's like, he's bad, I don't like him, but what else can we do? And then they have this little redemption arc of being like, yo,
make his death meaningful.
Well, they could have been more
not give him a stupid death and just do whatever.
Or well, I'm meaning more in like Janet's like, you need to change what you're doing. These guys are bad. It doesn't like. We need to stop this, and Bill Murray's like, well, he's too powerful and whatever. And then as the movie goes on, Bill Murray realizes like, oh wait, we can take him and whatever. You have that like, I don't know. You have like those moments where the bad guy has like some realization of like, oh, I should be fighting against King, and if you believe, we can do it, and whatever kind of like thing. Sort of like how what's his name? The enforcer guy from Thor Ragnarok, where he was working with Hela, and then he realized, oh man,
the executioner.
Yeah, that whatever his name was, and sort of that kind of thing, where he was working for the bad guy, and then he's like, I'm gonna actually try to save my people. Yeah, and realizes that he can have that change. I think they should have done that, and then removed the whole like rebel group, and then they just have I don't know. I think it could have been better like that, and it would have given like Hope, like her character, more meaning to the story, even though like because
she didn't do anything in this movie.
For a movie called Antman and the Wasp.
No, it's just called Antman Quantumania.
No, it's called Antman and the Wasp Quantumania.
Wow.
And
I still like the title of Ant-Man 3 the Wasp 2.
Okay. Yeah.
I should have called it that. This is dumb. Petition for the next movie of Ant-Man 4 the Wasp 3.
I don't know. I think we can just transition to her character. Her character was basically pointless, and like her character was just literally like, oh, I'm here to like be here, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like here to support, but then like I'm not gonna say anything supportive, and I'm just here. Cause like I like the idea like at the very beginning where she's like a businesswoman, and I feel like she's openly the Wasp. So she's like, yeah, businesswoman, but also don't cross me, cause I'm a Wasp, baby. I could punch you real hard and sting you.
She doesn't have a
stinger. Shoot you what the wasps do.
She's not a literal wasp.
If you try hard enough, she could.
Well, she's not, so.
Yeah. But I'm like, they could have done so much more with her. Like, I feel like she only had like 3 lines.
I think
she definitely had more than that, but just saying, she didn't do anything, and it kind of makes me upset.
Yeah. Yeah. She for a person who's, I don't know.
Like honestly, they could have you could easily like cut her out of the movie and just write her off being like, she's busy being a businesswoman.
Or
But
you
then
could
it's
have
like-
brought her in and actually made her part of the story. Cause
Exactly.
she's actually a cool character, but
Mhm.
like she was just like thrown to the sideline, and
Yeah.
but she's like the player on the bench who's like, I'm ready to go in, and is like warming
me in,
up.
coach.
Well, she's like warming up to get into the game, and then she's just never thrown in really
Yeah.
until like the last 5 seconds to score like
To
a couple
score
of
the
points.
big touchdown.
It's not even like the touchdown that she even scored. Actually, never mind. They did kill or
She came out of the portal and was like, "Duh, here to help your brother." And then I honestly thought
when
that
you're
they were
not
gonna
when
be
you're not
like,
when you're not husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend, you're just brother.
nah, dude, brother is just a term of endearment. I don't care what gender you are, you're a brother now. Anyway,
But it's okay.
I'm being Hulk Hogan or whoever says brother all the time.
Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought like at the very end when like the portal dies
Mm-hmm.
and those two are just like standing in like the little tower and just looking out into the not sunset.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were gonna be left there.
Oh yeah, and I think that's what should have happened.
Yeah. Cause like I thought like either one, Scott was gonna die. But I think that's what everyone thought, like from the trailer, just him being like, I don't have to win, you just have to lose. And he's all beat up and about to die. Which, like, I sit here and I'm like, oh no, don't let him die.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're killing off everyone, and I'm like, not Paul Rudd, please.
Well, Paul Rudd did die, like who knows how many times in the movie.
Oh.
Where
I was
it
like,
has
what are you
like
talking
the probability, whatever
Dude,
the probability
No,
storm.
Baskin Robin, Paul Rudd.
Did he die?
I don't know, I can't remember.
I did like that he did come back, and it was funny. He's like, "We did it, guys. We did it. I'm Antman. I mean, I'm Paul Rudd.
I'm Scott Lang.
I am the Baskin Robin."
I'm the Baskin Robin. I'm no longer Ant-Man. I am Baskin Robin.
I am one of the 31 flavors.
I'm one of the 50 Robins, but not the Batman kind.
So dumb.
But yeah, yeah, I thought they were gonna not like ditch him, but just like he was just gonna
Like
be
just
left there.
unable to, yeah.
Yeah,
And
which like that would have been fun, cause then it would have felt like more stakes were happening.
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if there's any kind of Ant-Man show that's gonna happen, but it could have been like Cassie trying to get her dad back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how much fun that would be for a show or a movie. But it could be like Ant-Man and the Wasp misadventure in the quantum realm.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the end of the season could be Cassie being like, duh, I got you back, Dad. Whoa.
Mm-hmm. I think, I don't know.
Like they could have, like that would make sense to like do a show. Even though if they probably did that, I would have been very annoyed that it's like, oh great, you're tying in a movie to a show. I'm pissed. Even though I sit here like, yeah, there's a Loki season 2 teaser at the end of this movie. And this is also tied to Loki, kind of, but not real, not well, yes. I was gonna say not a whole lot, but yeah.
Don't try to overcomplicate it. It is.
Yeah. But it's like you don't, like I sit here like you don't have to watch Loki to like understand what the heck Kang is. Like it's a, like, I feel like this movie is a good like introduction, and I feel like it would encourage people to watch the first season of Loki. Because they're like, oh dude, they're like, oh they're gonna go fight Kang. That's super cool. And then they watch it and that'll be just in time for season 2. Whoa.
Well,
Marketing.
I think that was one thing I did not like about. That was another thing I didn't like, is that you didn't really learn more about Kang
Yeah.
You
All that
got-
you learned was just like he's like the lesser of all the evils of the other kings. Even though you don't
in Loki,
really...
or are you talking
No,
about
in the movie. Sorry.
Whoa, no, that is absolutely
No,
not
because he's
true.
totally
Absolutely
no. The whole time
not
he's like, I got
true.
banished by all my brothers who are also me, all because I don't know what he did.
Yeah, you don't know what he did, Amy,
I don't know
because
what the
he
heck.
was put down as like one of the more dangerous kings because he was known as the Conqueror.
No,
and
but
he
aren't all of them the
and they
Conqueror?
banished him. No, they're not all the Conqueror.
What?
Um,
Is he the same king from the show?
no. Okay.
I hate it here. I
No.
don't like having multiples of one character.
No, Amy, he's gonna be so sick.
No. I'm gonna sit here like, oh, is this one the same one from the show?
Like,
And it's like, no.
no, the
Is
one
this
from the
one?
show, the one from the
No.
show is dead.
I thought...
The one from the show
I've only watched the
died
show
and
once,
was
and
I've only watched the show once and I know what happened. And like the one who it's the one who remains and whatever, and he dies and he's like, well, good luck with my other king
But
variants.
that's what this one says too.
Well, I think that's just his
He's-
personality.
No,
well,
he's just like, dude, you just... That's such a lame personality, being like, duh, you'll regret killing me because my other brothers are just as bad as me. And that's what all of them say. And
No.
like each one of them is like, yeah, that guy, he's the evil one. I'm the one that's better than him. And then
Well,
it cuts to him and he's like, no, he's the evil one. I'm the better one than him.
Well,
And it's just gonna be a big circle of them being like, no, it's him. He's the bad one. I'm the good one.
so I from my understanding, King the Conqueror, the one from the movie, he was exiled because he was way too dangerous and
I thought he did a rebellious thing, and they're like,
and was
"Boot
a
you
bad
to the
guy.
Shadow Realm, buddy."
Well,
And
I
that's
guess.
why he's there, and he's like, "I want to get out of here."
What do you think
please."
rebellious means, Amy?
I mean,
Like,
with all
like
the other ones. With the
I'm just
talk
gonna
of-
push over this building. That's quite rebellious.
No,
or
with him-
wipes out an entire civilization, wipes out
No.
entire planets and timelines because
No,
he
wait.
wants to conquer it.
No, because why do all of them talk like, yeah, I'm the lesser of the two evils out of my 3 billion selves. I'm the better one. And that's
Well-
what all of them have been saying this whole time, other than when the 3 million of them get together in a stadium and they're all like, yeah, let's go, brothers. We're the lessers of all of us. We're
Amy,
the lessers of the bad here. Don't worry.
Hear me out.
My head's starting to hurt.
Okay, think about this, Amy. Think
No.
about you within
My-
the multiverse,
My brain...
and then think about
Don't-
me.
I was like, don't bring her in.
I'm here. You think you're not better than me? You think you're the lesser of two evils? You think you're better? Yes, you think you're better than that one.
No.
You are better than that one. You're
No.
that's probably going to be the type of king that, like, that's probably how
Nah,
king
dude,
thinks him.
I'm just the
Go on.
I'm just the loser out of all my multiverse versions, just like in Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's like, yeah, you have multiple possibilities because you're terrible at everything. That's me. But I haven't gotten my my alpha Wayman to come give me a pep talk yet.
Because it's me.
No!
I'm here to give you the pep talk.
No, you're no alpha Wayman. Get out.
But I'm Alpha Amy. Here's my thought process.
Hit me. I probably won't listen to it that well, but hit me with it.
Kang is the character that thinks he's superior in every way, and it's like, I don't know, I think he thinks that he's the smartest person, which in like the comic books he has like 40 years of like He's like 40 years ahead of everybody technologically, so
that doesn't seem like a whole lot, but
I think it's 40 years. But basically, so here's a little rundown of who Kang is in the comics. So he is like, he's Reed Richard, like Mr. Fantastic's son or grandson.
Do you think they're ever gonna bring that up?
Probably. Well, they're doing a Fantastic Four movie.
Oh yeah.
And then and
do you think it's still gonna be John Krasinski or not?
no, I'm pretty sure it's not.
No, Jonathan.
So people actually thought the guy who did the mind reading thing, that he was gonna be Mr. Fantastic in this movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And then he ended up not being that.
He ended up being mind reader guy.
Yeah, which some people were upset about that, but I think everybody's just gonna be upset by things that didn't happen because that's how the MCU
how
fandom
expectations
is.
work.
Yeah,
baby.
But basically, his name is like Nathaniel. No, is it Nathaniel Richards? Yeah, Nathaniel Richards, I think, is his name, and he.
Is his mom the Invisible Woman?
That's how that's how the Fantastic Four work.
No,
Sue
stop!
Storm,
I didn't know
Sue
if they were
Storm
like
and
wait.
Reed Richards get married and they're husband and wife.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just like.
Have you ever seen Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer? They
like
get married
once when I was like 5.
Like, do you remember the trailer for it?
No,
okay.
I was 5. I didn't care about trailers.
I remember the trailer and I thought it was gonna be slick.
Nah, it's just thinking that it's like, oh yeah, it's they could have gotten together, but then I don't know. So just like in another comic book variation that is like, oh yeah, Reed, this is your son, and your wife is not the Invisible Woman. I keep on wanting to say Invisigirl.
It's actually Miss Appear.
Really? No, it's not.
Miss Appear is Sandy from SpongeBob.
I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, dude. The Quickster.
Now you see her. Now you don't. Okay. Sorry, that was a big old.
I was sitting here just thinking of Elastigirl. Just being like, yeah, Invisigirl. Wow, this sucks.
Yeah, so basically the man is from the future and he basically just travels back in time with his advanced technology to take over like civilizations, and then like other future versions of himself like meet up with him or like, hey, you should go do this. And then that's like his whole thing is that like when he first was introduced in the comics, like a future version of himself came in. They're like, hey, you're deemed for greatness. Now go take over the world. And then
I love it because I feel like whenever there is I guess Back to the Future kind of thing, but just like anything where it's like time travel stuff, the rule is always like, don't interact with yourself or you'll die. You'll implode on yourself, and then bad things will happen.
Yeah.
But
then the comics are just like, you know what? It's fine.
You know what? We'll let them kiss one another. It'll be fine. No. Wow.
But yeah, he figures out like basically what the multiverse, like he figures out what the multiverse is, and then he's like, not only can I take over my timeline, I can take over multiple timelines.
Whoa!
Yeah, and that was his whole deal and spiel. Am I right, fellas?
And the shtick too.
Yeah, deal, and spiel, sticks.
And the stick.
But yeah. We could talk about let's talk about King because he's great.
Dude, that actor is pretty good looking.
He's. I can't wait to
Handsome
watch.
boy.
I can't wait to watch Creed 3. I'm gonna watch it hopefully like this week. It just came out.
Who's he in Creed 3?
He's like the bad guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like he's the one that's like, yo, he's like, me and you were friends growing up, and now
We're not.
I'm like, we're not, because
I'm such a good writer, just being like, yeah, we used to be friends, but now we're not.
I mean, it's like Frozen. We used to be best buddies,
And
now we're not.
And I wish you would tell me why.
It's because
you want to build a snowman.
It's actually because he went to jail, man. It was because he went to jail, man. Why didn't you come to jail with me, man? And then
okay, bye.
yeah. that was the cop that was just like, yeah, you hop in the car, we're taking you to jail. He's like, okay,
no,
bye.
he's like just not trauma dumping, but just emotional dumping on the guy, and he's like, okay, bye.
But,
yeah, I'm excited for that movie, which is also funny because I saw a post that's like, yes, Creed 3 is good because Rocky isn't in it. I was like, don't do this to me.
So, this man, I think he's just gonna be. I think everybody is gonna get so sick of him by the time King Dynasty comes out. Cause I swear he's in like 5 different movies outside of MCU stuff, but he's also scheduled to be in a ton of MCU stuff in between now and like the Avengers movies.
But I mean, I feel like in this one he was a good actor. And I feel like it's gonna be all. I don't know what movies he's gonna be in. I was gonna be like, yeah, he seems like he's gonna be different characters, but then it's like, no, he's. So as far as my brain knows, in Creed 3, he's going to be the bad guy, and in, like, him as King, also the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. But...
So, we'll see.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I like him.
I like him a lot, too, but I think in the next, like, 5 years, I think in the next 5 years, he's just going to be burnt out. Not burnt out, but the people are going to be, like, over him. They're going to be like, he's just whatever. Because he's just going to be in everything.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's not what it turns into.
Well, that's...
But I mean,
I also... So.
Yeah. Anyways.
But King was by far probably the best part of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But...
There was a meme that I saw that was like first half of MCU where it's like, movie good, villain bad, and then now it's movie bad, villain good.
Mm-hmm. Well,
which is like, yeah.
As much as I liked King in this movie, well, actually, King was good in this movie. I liked that he was like this big threat, and everybody recognized him as this big threat, and he was gonna legit kill Cassie if Antman wasn't gonna help him out.
Oh yeah.
And you knew, like, you knew he was gonna.
And a menace?
Yeah.
Or is he just a threat?
No, he's a threat. Not quite a menace. He's only a menace to the King organization.
He's only a menace to his brothers.
Yeah, they're not his brother.
They're him.
Yeah, they're him.
It's him. Wow.
But basically, I think he was good, and I thought it was. I think how they did King in this movie was fine, but they could have done better with him.
It makes me excited for like Loki season 2, where they're hunting him down as like this little like inventor man in like what, the 20s. Nope, I can't remember. I don't know what time period it is.
It was a long time ago.
It was the ye olden days.
Yeah. It could have been 1800s for all I know.
Yeah.
But did you say 1920s?
I said the 20s, so it could honestly be any of the 20s.
It was
2020.
where we just went so far back in civilization because of
We went
COVID.
so far back in time.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, Kang was great. He was probably the thing that I was excited for this movie, because it was just like, oh, we're gonna see Kang and see what he's all about, and it was very underwhelming when he was just like, you didn't learn anything new about him, because you knew that he was dangerous because of Loki, and he was all powerful and whatnot. But
I mean, I felt very brain dead at the end of watching Loki, so that's probably why I don't remember like the last episode too much, which is probably terrible of me to say. But I mean, I learned a few things about him when I watched this movie. I feel like he felt more threatening than in Loki. But yeah, I was just brain dead the whole time, so who knows?
You probably should watch it again.
Well, yeah.
But I don't know. Like, he looked great. I liked his suit, his little mask with the light, like blue light on it. It was fun.
I love how they're like, at least for his costume. I was gonna say for the costumes, but then, as we said earlier, they just blended into everything. But just like with the I think just like with the newer Marvel movies, they're trying not like they're making like the costumes look cool, but they're not like throwing out like the designs from like the comics. Like they're getting the designs, like the colors for him is like purple and green, which like is you like I feel like a lot of the colors, like purple and green, like those two colors, like those two can be like hard to put together, even though there's a lot of characters that use that color scheme. But it's like it's fun to see getting those bright colors back.
Well, that's how he looks in the comics. It's very accurate, and it's.
He's not a big gray villain like in the older MCU. Because like with comics, like comic version of I think I was gonna say Killmonger, but that's not who I'm talking about. Oh my gosh, what's his name? The toy built this suit in a cave with a box of scraps.
Obadiah Stane.
Yeah, I think
his name was Ironmonger.
That's his name. That's why I was like, yeah, Killmonger? No. But yeah, like his iron suit, I think it was like purples or blues, but then they threw it out because they're like, ew, ugly colors. We're gonna make it gray.
Well, it doesn't look normal. Like, it doesn't fit like in a normal atmosphere, which nowadays you can get away with looking more wild and eccentric, because now superheroes are brand properties in the MCU like timeline. Everybody knows the Avengers, while the bad guys are like, yo, or like everybody in like the earlier MCU movies were like, oh, we gotta be subtle because nobody's gonna go into battle like with all these flashy suits and whatever, unless you're Captain America with your red, white, and blue, because you have to be a symbol of.
That was his whole thing.
Yeah.
The little boy.
And then Iron Man has always been the most flashiest person, so that's why he has the red and gold suit.
Well, like even with I think it's Whiplash that had it, but he had like a full metal suit with like the electric whips.
Yeah.
But then they just made him like, yeah, put on the gel pants and have the rig on you of the whips. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like I feel
and it's interesting, like looking back at like thinking about the like the Iron Man movies, like there was a lot of mixing of like color and background, and why did it work back then? Like War Machine was gray, and like I'm thinking about Iron Man 2 right now, so like all of
Well,
Whiplash
that
is like
sucks
little
'cause I haven't
drones.
seen it.
Well, all of like the drones and everything were just like same color as background. The lighting was very dark, so it like everything like sort of mixed around the background, but not as I don't know.
Yeah, like I get what you mean.
And like
I
also, I'm also thinking of like the final fight with Iron Man and Ironmonger in the first Iron Man movie, where they're like where Obadiah's machine is the same color as like surrounding cars and whatnot, and like the streets, but for some reason it still works.
Yeah.
While in this
I
movie,
think-
it's just matching all of like the crazy colors.
I
and
think
it just doesn't work for some reason.
I think like a piece of it could be like practical effects, like obviously like Ironmonger running around in the streets. That's probably not a person running around in a big suit lifting up cars.
Right.
Probably not. But like I think some of it is practical effects, and then also I think it may be just like how it was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if we had like if filming had gone completely digital at that point, or if it was still on film, or what. But it could have been that too.
Mm.
Cause like looking back on like any movie, like looking at like movies nowadays, and then looking back on like Jurassic Park, how it's like, dude, this movie looks amazing. And then looking at movies now, it's like, why aren't the effects up to par? Or even like with the new the Avatar movies, like why does it look so much better from like in the first one than in the second one? Like at least with the characters.
That is a take, Amy, that I do not agree with, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
Because I think Avatar 2 looked way better than Avatar
Well, I mean,
1.
just like how the people look. Like I feel like there's more grit from many years ago. Like just like all of the like every movie had more of a grittiness to it. While nowadays I feel like everything is super polished. And I think that's what's making it not look good.
Because it takes away the realism of everything and whatnot. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know how good of a transition this is, but I watched a video that was talking about MODOK.
Yeah, we need to talk about him.
Because when I first watched the movie, I wasn't, like, I thought he was a serious character. And then he wasn't in this movie. But then, I thought he was going to be more serious, especially with his name being, like, a machine that only kills things, even though that's not what... Those are not that's not the anagram.
I think it's a mechanical organism designed only for killing.
Oh, okay.
I think so, but...
Something like that.
In the comics, there's, like, two different meanings to that acronym, but still, whatever.
But I watched a video that was like talking about like how they already had like MODOK in like MCU and how he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but he was also like a combination of MODOK and the Red Guardian, and how like he was super serious. He was like a secret agent who's like, yeah, I'm a guy that kills things, but also I hate technology.
Oh, what the?
Yeah, and then later on, he like... I haven't watched the show, so I don't know what the heck happens, but he's like a little brain in a jar now. But yeah, so I'm like, I don't know, that's how I saw him, and then in this movie, he was a joke. But also in that video, they were showing like visual stuff, because they don't have the movie to like show off everything.
Right.
But his design in this, which is like I feel like they did good for what they had with MODOK, who's just a big head.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. But like looking at him, I think it's like the Avengers video game. It's a game that has him in it, and he like they made him look realistic.
Mm.
Like, why does he look better in the game than in the movie when it's like it's basically the same design?
Well,
but
Well, in the game, you're matching the quality of like you can get away with people not looking perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it just matches everything.
And the big problem with the movie is that they hired the guy who did Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and so like the guy who designed MODOK was like, I love Shark Boy and Lava Girl. The guy who
or
made
it was a
the
big
guy who
joke
made
with all the special effects guys that
like,
only worked on MODOK. They're like, hey guys.
They're like, George Lopez is my hero, and.
No, George Lopez just paid up under the table being like, guys, this would be so funny.
Yeah, you guys should just make him look like me. Look like Mr. Electric.
But like, because I sit here and I'm like, he should have looked like better. Like, he looks good at some parts, but then other parts it's like, he looks like, there's like these things that you can do where like, if you want to make it look like there's a head in a jar, you get like a picture and you like warp it real weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a 3D scan of like your whole face, but then you're putting it on like a 2D thing. Then you stick it in a jar and then it looks like there's a head in there. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Like you could like see that it's flat, but then it was like a 3D object.
Yeah.
So it just hurts your brain, or it's like, man, this looks stupid. What the heck?
I think they did their best with what they could, and then they're just like, we just need to double down on how bad this is and make sure everybody knows that, like, this looks bad. Like, where they have just Ant-Man just, like, looking at him and just like, man, you're ugly.
Which it sucks because it's like, oh, dude, he would have been perfect for an Ant-Man movie, but I feel like this movie was, like, a little too serious. To have MODOK running around being like, look at me! I'm just not just a head. Don't worry about it. I'm the most serious guy here. Also,
I got a butt.
His little butt. I think there was a kid sitting behind us, and there were some hilarious comments from that kid. But
I didn't hear anything from that kid.
I'm trying to remember. There was like so many funny things, but then my brain forgot them. I just remember them being funny, but I have a feeling like when the butt came up, he was like, "Duh!" or something. Being like, "Duh, look! He's a little butt!"
So, okay, while I'm thinking about it, we'll get back to MODOK in a second because I have a lot to say about him. Mm-hmm. But my favorite part of the entire theater experience was when the end credit scene popped up and you see Loki and Mobius. And the kid's like, yo, that's Loki with Mobius! And then there's this guy in the back who, like he couldn't contain himself and he laughed so hard at these kids getting hyped up for Loki and Mobius.
It's so sad because I feel like that was the only time anyone was hyped in the movie.
I know. And which I was crazy hyped though for the soccer game that was about to ensue in the other credit scene.
I was like, soccer game when? What is this about?
It's when all the kings are standing in the stadium and the other one's like, yes, yes! And
it's like, so good! I love it because there's like the main three that are like, this is a serious moment, we're gonna go to war, and then all these other ones are like, yeah, let's go!
They're like, HYPE, 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 and they're just like going there, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, okay, but let's go back to
as hype as that.
Let's go back to MODOK.
Oh wait, before.
Oh, okay.
There were kids like right behind us, like right as like we're leaving the theater after the Loki like thing happened, and there's one kid that's like explaining like, the storyline of Loki. It's so good. Like, I think he was like, I don't know if he was talking to another kid or if he was like, dude, Dad, you know Loki? And then, like, explains the whole story. And the dad's like, yeah, I watched it with you. I know exactly. It's so good. It's like, yes, I'm very happy.
I'm going to make sure my kids know that, like...
They know the lore.
Yeah, they're going to know the lore, but they don't need to, like, hey, Dad, remember Loki where he does, like, all the and like, just goes through the entire storyline? I just be
no,
like,
they have to give you context, Sam,
well,
of what they're going to say next.
No, I have to make sure that he knows, or they know.
They know that you know?
Yeah, they're like, I'm going to be watching everything with them because that's going to be fun or whatever. And
dude, when your kid gets brain cells, you're gonna show them all the MCU.
I know, like, that's gonna be the thing that I'm gonna be so pumped for is when I show my kids the entire...
Do a big movie rewatch.
I know, like, every week.
And they're watching, like, a movie and you're like, no, you watched it without me!
Yeah.
Like, getting mad at
I'd
them.
be upset.
We're grounded for a week.
Yeah, I'd be so upset.
Grounded for a week, but we're gonna be watching movies the entire week that you're grounded.
You watched Winter Soldier without me?
How dare you!
We're gonna proceed to watch Civil War together.
We're gonna rewatch it, and then I'm gonna watch Civil War without you!
I'm gonna watch it without you now. Well, okay,
Loser.
I already watched it. Shut up. Okay. So MODOK was somebody that I was, like, excited to see, and I was really scared on, like, what he was gonna look like because I knew he was probably gonna look horrendous.
No, dude, in the trailer, like, for a split second, they show him without his mask on, and, like, I think it was, like, a super far away shot, so you couldn't, like, see the details, but you could tell that it's like, it's Mr. Electrical, no! But I remember just people being like, oh, don't, no, please.
Yeah. Well, like,
don't do it.
I was I was going in to watch it, and I was like, okay, I just want to see MODOK so I can get it out of my head, like, I can get it in my brain so I know what he'll look like and my expectations.
Dude, I was still shocked each time that he took his mask off.
Yeah.
Each time he took it off, I was like,
well, okay, they should have not done anything with the mask because it's just like, oh, we're going to reveal something stupid.
Like,
just pull the Band-Aid off and just show his ugly face.
Well, like, the thing is, too, like, the mask looks super good, but then it's like they don't use it at all. Like, he only wears it for, like, a solid, like, 5 minutes of the whole movie when he's in the movie for, like, what, 30 minutes? Probably longer than that.
Oh, well over 30 minutes.
But, like, half of the time, it's just him taking the mask off and be like, hey, guys, I'm a big head. And it's like, duh! It's getting traumatized each time that I looked into his eyes.
I think what they sort of doubled down on, like, him being ugly, but they should have tripled down and made, like, a whole, like, point where he's just like, I hate looking at myself in the mirror. I'm so ugly. And just, like...
Dude!
Where they just have, like...
like, him just...
Where he has, like, the feels moment where he's, like, putting his hand on, like, the wall, looking, looking aimlessly, but, like, the shower, like he's just standing in the shower,
Instead
just taking everything.
That could be the butt shot, just replacing the one shot they had with his little butt. You could have replaced it with that with him. Him in the shower being like, I hate it here.
So,
what have I become? I also sat here, Hayden, I was telling you this, like, when we were, like, when we were leaving, and, like, it's like, that could be such good body horror stuff, where it's like, I got shrunken down, and my body's all messed up, and I hate it here, and my head's big, I can't walk around, my life sucks, but then it's just him being like, look at me, I'm MODOK, my feet aren't little, I promise. My tiny legs.
Well, okay.
He was just a joke, and I was like, I'm so mad.
They should have had, like, I think it's an interesting idea, or like an interesting connection of having Yellow Jacket be MODOK.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I think they should have not done that. I think they should have just had, this was just a different character, sort of like a new character, and have somebody who is, like, not to make fun of them, but like ugly, or they can do a lot of work with their very facial like actors, like sort of like Jim Carrey. He knows how to like contort his face and make it look wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's I can't
That
think
would
of
be
somebody
so
like that.
hard to animate though.
Well, I don't know. I think
like, because like just thinking how they did like all the rigging for Thanos, which I don't think they'll do the same thing for an Ant-Man movie for a dumb character. Like they probably won't go that in depth with it.
Mm-hmm.
But like just thinking of just like getting like a super animated face and trying to do that, it could like I don't know if it would be super hard to do or if it would be like easy because it's like they're already making a cartoony face. Like they could like stretch it like just a little bit to like make it like a little extra cartoony.
Well, MODOK is like one of the most eccentric like villains. He's just super wild and like his whole thing is that he's supposed to look like this absolute tragedy.
His whole thing is like I'm putting stuff in my brain to make me real smart, but now I'm ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
why is my man an idiot then? What the heck, man?
Well,
because it's Yellow Jacket and not the actual MODOK.
Yeah, but something that I also saw like of like looking at other YouTubers and podcasters who have talked about this movie.
I think Nando made a video about MODOK.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a whole video of him being like, dude, I love MODOK.
Well, he likes MODOK as a character, and it's super like he thinks it's interesting, and he was really let down by the movie. But
oh really?
Yeah. Or by his character
in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was saying also, like, he was one of the people that said this, and he's like, he needed to be sort of like a Ronin character. They shouldn't have had Kang be like the main villain, and had just like Ronin is one of Thanos' like enforcer people, and so he was the main villain for that. Instead of like you have like a little bit of an aspect of who Thanos is and how powerful he can be, but you don't see him in full power and whatnot.
Yeah. You just get to see a piece of it through another person.
Yeah. And that's what they should have done with this, is have MODOK be the main villain, but have like Kang sort of in the background, or at the end of this movie it's like, oh man, you failed me, MODOK, and just kills him.
My turn.
Yeah. He's like, fine, I'll do it myself.
I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
Thanks. He puts on the helmet instead of a glove.
Yeah.
Where he puts on a glove, but it's like just like a little like. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This joke sucks.
Well, I don't know, like MODOK is, and like MODOK works in a Ant-Man movie, I think, because he's a wild, eccentric character for a wild and eccentric hero. Yeah. And like it would work as a comedy, and if they had somebody who was known for comedy, like
have all of MODOK's things just him being like just all self-deprecating, him being like just like super serious, sad music. It's raining. He's just in there like.
That's where Zach Galifianakis can come in, though.
Dude!
Either that.
Oh my gosh!
Okay, Zach Galifianakis could have been MODOK, or what's his name? Who's the comedian that's like the he has the book Dad is Fat.
I was gonna say Jeff Goldblum. I was gonna say Jeff Dunham. That's not him.
It's not Jeff Foxworthy either.
No, hold on. He's the dad in Luca. Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. I think Jim Gaffigan could have been wild. And I think, I think Jim Gaffigan or Zach Galifianakis would be great.
I like their voices, but then I'm like, oh, do I want like big face?
I think
do I want them as big head?
Yeah.
Like I would sit here like
I don't think I could do MODOK without the big head.
Well, I mean, just being like, do we want to just be like their face? I don't know how much I like that idea.
I think it'd be fine there.
Or just being like they show his face like twice, and the one of the times can be him being depressed in the shower, just laying.
He's just they're in like this big old like hot tub looking thing because his body can't fit in a bathtub.
No, he's just in a shower. Why put him in a bathtub
well,
when you can put him in a shower?
It's one of those bathtub shower things.
Oh.
Where he's just laying there and just sitting there. My head's too big for my body.
Dude. No, he could just be like a... I can totally see him being like a Peter B. Parker, just being like, yeah, my life is good. I work out every day. My life is amazing, while he's like sitting there crying in the shower.
Like, and I took it like a champ.
Took it like a champ, baby.
Yeah.
And then, like, honestly, if it was like that, I could probably rewrite this or make a movie that's in between Antman and the Wasp and Quantumania. Because that was another thing that I heard was it was like, yeah, this movie feels like a fourth movie instead of the third movie for an Ant-Man. Like there should have been something in between, like this one and the last movie. So it's like I
don't know. That's fine.
Like it would have been interesting if it was like MODOK going out of the quantum realm and being like, "Duh, dang it, man! I don't know why I have beef with you, but you're going down, brother." Just so then it can be like it could like lead into the quantum realm, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I think I don't think they should. I think this was the right time to have a Quantumania. I don't think they should have had anything in between it, unless it was something to develop hope. But
yeah, but I also feel like this one, there's just like, I feel like there's just too many big stakes in this one for an Ant-Man movie. Like if it was like Ant-Man and like another character. Like another like bigger character. I was gonna say like Thor, but he's going through it. But like just getting someone with like just like a bigger thing going on.
Well,
and like them going and fighting this big guy. So I'm like Ant-Man's powers are interesting, but it's like I don't really see him going up like a guy that can get big and small. Like, him versus a guy that's, like, known for destroying, like, entire timelines. I think I know who the winner is.
Yeah.
Even though this movie proves me wrong and I'm pissed.
Well, that's, like, another thing why I think MODOK should have been the main villain. Is because King is supposed to be this big, powerful character, and he proceeds to get beaten up by, like, one of the B-lister characters.
Yeah.
Like, that's like if they did a movie on Thanos. It'd be like instead of Ronan, it would have been, they took on Thanos and they were able to beat him because he didn't have any of the Infinity Stones, and then he came back with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah, and then Ronan was there just as a joke.
Yeah. Ronan was basically like Grandmaster from, like, he was the Grandmaster's assistant from Ragnarok.
Give me the melting stick, please.
Yeah, but
what's her name? It starts with a B. Trash. Doesn't even start with it.
Boozehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this movie was all right. Hayden has other opinions, and because Hayden, give us a quick spiel of what you thought of the movie, because I know you liked it.
Hit us with it.
Okay. There's no hopping up and down.
Don't laugh too hard.
Okay, we pulled Hayden from out of we pulled Hayden out of the basement. He's come out to play.
I was gonna say the corner.
Yeah.
Then you said the basement.
I feel like I'm trying to remember, like, after we watched it, the stuff I was thinking. I initially, like, I felt like I kind of read, like, some of the reviews on, like, why the critic score was so low.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people were just saying, like, it's kind of stuff that's, like, been seen already, and I kind of felt like that too. I kind of felt like the movie was trying to incorporate, like, for people who haven't really seen, like, the show and haven't seen, like, especially Loki, where Kang is such a big part of, like, why he's in, like, the movie timeline now. And I feel like they kind of just repeated, like, the ending of, like, Loki into kind of, like, not, like, exactly one for one, but, like, aspects were incorporated into this movie, so that people who hadn't seen Loki or, like, don't really want to watch all the TV shows, like, kind of can still, like, know what's going on without, like, having to delve too deeply into, like, all the other side stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I did like it for what it's trying to do is, like, I feel like now this is phase 5, and I feel like with all the other movies that were in the bottom end of phase 4 that were all the low score ones, like Love and Thunder, Multiverse of Madness, Eternals and stuff, they're kind of, like, just trying to get the movies, like, back on the tracks. And I felt like, and only time will tell now, like, we don't know now until all the rest of this saga plays out, like, how important Antman is playing out.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it was a change of pace. I feel like I laughed quite a bit throughout the movie. I thought the humor was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the jokes were earned and, like, even, like, well timed and stuff, and opposed to, like, some of the other ones, like Love and Thunder, like, the jokes in that one are just too over the top, and just too, like, every 5 seconds it felt like
They kept hitting you with it.
Yeah, it just felt like you're watching, like a sitcom show, or it just felt like there's supposed to be, like, laugh tracks, because it's, like, just joke after joke after joke. But this one, there were still, like, serious aspects of it, and the world building going more into the quantum realm, I thought was cool. What I was telling Amy, like, after we saw the movie, is there's this game that came out, like, handful of years ago, No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. I want to know, like, if there was any inspiration from that game for this, because watching it, someone who's played that game, I'm like, some of the characters, especially with, like, the characters they involved with the like, rebels or whatever, like, a lot of the characters almost looked one for one for characters in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just thought it was cool. It was kind of more like it's like the closest thing we have to, like, space, like, alien stuff outside of, like, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Everything else is just mainly on Earth, and, like, just human type aliens, or if they're not. But
yeah, I heard someone talking about how it's kind of like a Star Wars.
Yeah.
For the MCU so far.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with, like, it's it wasn't, like, over the top, like, action inspired. Like, it is more like sci-fi, and more about, I felt like it was more of, like, a calm movie. And I guess if you look in the perspective of, like, the other two Ant-Man movies, were it's more like action comedy, and this one was more just like sci-fi comedy
Mm-hmm.
in a way. But I didn't mind it, and I think it's like kind of like, I feel like it's hard because any movie they would have started Phase 5 off with is gonna have that chore of like trying to pull the reins, getting back on the track of like, okay, we kind of been world building up to this point, and it's like, because I even saw something that like Kevin Feige was saying like this is the first movie since Endgame that's really like building up to something bigger.
Right.
But I do kind of like, I like that point of like with Guardians, like how MODOK should have been more of like the main villain in this one, with Kang just kind of in the background and then just playing it off. Because like that, now like thinking about that does kind of worry me that like Marvel fans are probably going to get like burnt out from seeing too much of Kang
Right.
coming forward into the next Phase 5 movies. But
And I feel like doing it like that way too could have been like a better way of like people who didn't watch Loki, like, one, it could have gotten them to watch it.
yeah,
But then if they don't want to watch the shows, or if they don't have Disney Plus, then it could be like a easier way of like them introducing Kang.
yeah,
Like if they like, I feel like that's what's gonna happen. Like they're gonna have to like re-explain stuff that's happened like in the shows, where they're gonna lead into the movies. Because then I think with the, I'm trying to remember, with Multiverse Madness, did they have to like re-explain stuff with Wanda? Or did they?
No, see, so that's kind of like with Multiverse Madness, they didn't really skip a beat from the show to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like the end credit scene for WandaVision just jump started right into the movie.
Oh, okay.
Because you had to have watched the end credits of WandaVision to understand why Wanda's all of a sudden a bad guy in that, because I feel like they didn't really explain like how she like all of a sudden is like the Scarlet Witch in the movie. Really, they kind of just like, okay, yeah, she's a bad guy.
Yeah. So I think I'd imagine like once they start doing like more movies that connect into the shows, they're gonna do like better at like explaining what happened in the shows in the movies without it being like the whole thing. Because I feel like this one was probably like a little too much of like explaining what happened in Loki and like who Kang is. But then Multiverse of Madness, it was like there's nothing at all. Like it was all like abrupt.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like Marvel movies now are just like the thing that like everyone watches, but then like some people like don't care about. They don't care about the lore too much, but then it's like they're gonna be confused, and like it. I feel like it shouldn't be a thing where it's like, oh well, you're just not meant to watch these movies. When it's like, no, you can watch them. Like anyone should be able to watch these.
I feel like what they can do is just. I feel like that's where we're at with Phase 4 and Phase 5 is like how Marvel's put it out, and this is probably how they shouldn't have done it like this, because Marvel's had TV shows in the past before Disney Plus came out with like Daredevil and like Punisher and stuff, where it's like it's,
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's like Marvel, but it's not like connected to anything that's going on in the movies. So like I feel like a better way going forward is they should just like stick with that, and it should have been like, okay, the movie play, like you can just watch the movies and just have it play out as its own story, but from the movie they take like aspects and then like world build this way, but it doesn't with the show, but it doesn't affect how the movie's playing out. Like but what they did is they're using the shows as like connecting the dots to like stuff that's gonna play out in the movie, where it should have been just movies like just is just there, it does its own thing. But if you want to expand more into like these characters, it goes into the show. You have to watch the show to like learn more about the lore, but like you don't ever have to watch the show if you don't want to. And I feel like that would have been a better way to go forward with it, instead of just okay, you have to watch this movie, but now you have to watch the show to understand what's going to happen in this next movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, like the whole timeline of like the movies, they like just drip down into the shows, but then the shows shouldn't like drip back, or like it could like the shows shouldn't like be put into the
It could
movies,
just
if
be,
that
like-
makes sense. Like
it could just be like Easter eggs throughout the movie, but it shouldn't have to like affect the main plot of like the movies.
mhm.
Well,
I remembered. Sorry, you can go.
I think, like with a show though, you have your characters develop over way more time because they're given more time to work with, like the character. That's why, like Scarlet Witch is a completely different character from when you last saw her in Endgame to, what's it called, to
Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness.
To Mom.
Yeah, and it's because she had hours upon hours of development that were thrown into the show. Because what else are you gonna do? I think it keeps the story interesting if there's some sort of development in the character. But when you develop the character, you have to make sure that you put it in the movie so it makes sense. And because if you go in, watch the movie, then watch the show, then you go to the next movie, and if Scarlet Witch was the same person that she was in the movie before, it sort of like ruins the point of watching the show, I guess. You don't like you lost basically everything that you learned from the show because the characters the characters lost all the development that they had, unless they added like a 2-minute sequence where they're like, well, this is what happened to me over the last like few years or whatever, and just spiels about what happened in the show and whatnot. Like what they could have done with Scarlet Witch is just be like, while I was like after, like they could have like a little, like Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch could have had like a little moment where they were like, yo, we're like, what's been happening in your life with magic? What have you been learning about magic? And then she talks about, oh, I figured out this thing called the hex and I made this thing. And
Or they could have had it been like one line where she's just like, I'm gonna do anything to get my family back.
well, then it'd be like, oh, she had a family. Then you'd have to do like a little backstory thing of like, oh, this is what my family was.
Well, that's still how it is, where she's like going into the movie and she's like, I want my kids. And it's like, when did you have kids? Hello?
Yeah, or they should have shown like a little sequence at the beginning of the movie before, like just being like, oh, here was my family and whatever, and then it shows like the kids being taken away or something, or like the kids being like disappearing, and then you see the motivation of Wanda being like, oh, I want to get my kids back.
Yeah. But it's just a whole problem of the shows and the movies just like constantly intertwining when like not everyone has access to the shows. While with the movies, they're always coming out like in the theaters.
Amy, you ready for a line that I haven't said in months?
No, don't say it.
Okay.
I already know. I already know.
I feel like that can be a
But-
good topic to like in its own episode.
Yeah.
Like, how,
Yeah.
like Marvel is like affecting like with the TV shows and
I feel like it's just Disney as a whole.
Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
the effect
Yeah.
Marvel's having with like movies, because there's so many things that like Marvel's doing that's like groundbreaking, like the end credit scenes and like how it's affecting every single like movie. Like people will stay after for every movie now just to see if there's end credits and like how it's affecting with like movies and TV show
And, like,
crossovers and
Yeah, and making it like, especially like making it where it's like a series of movies instead of it just being like one movie that's by itself and it's just one story. Like there needs to be like multiples and it's a bigger story.
yeah. Overall, I didn't think it was a perfect movie, but I think it was leaps and bounds better than anything that came out of like the end of Phase 4.
Yeah.
And I just feel like only time will tell, like, going forward, how big of an impact it's gonna play into like the oncoming movies and stuff. But but I did like it. I definitely think the like really low score that the critics gave it like was definitely undeserved. I didn't feel like it deserved that low of a score.
Yeah. I think with critics too, they like, I don't know how much they look into like the story of just like the whole MCU, or if they're just looking at like, oh, the visual effects, oh, the storytelling, the writing, like all of like the like just stuff that makes a movie, and not like what's like the coat of paint that goes on that movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, hey, buddy.
But then...
Sorry. I didn't mean to touch your foot like that.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing? But yeah, I also who knows how many people were fans that are also critics, or if they were just random people that were like, I'm going to the movies, I'm gonna watch this movie, and we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna watch the movie again last night, but then I didn't. Or I was gonna watch it this morning, and I also still didn't do that. But
yeah, I was like, I remember us talking about how I was like, yeah, I need to see it one more time to get like full like get the full feels out. But also, I didn't watch it again.
Well, that's like me with Marvel movies now. I feel like I need to watch the movie twice. One with the one time just watching it just fresh, and then the second time now having my expectations they're taken out.
Like knowing what's happening, then you can look at it.
Yeah, I can actually see it for what it is, not based off of what I think should happen, and then being disappointed that it didn't happen. Because I haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder since it came out, or since we watched it, and I sort of want to watch it again. And even though I wasn't the biggest fan, I was not a big fan of it.
I don't want to.
But I don't know.
No thanks.
I think all in all, though, Quantumania is a good step for the MCU, and I think what's gonna happen is gonna be like for the MCU, like seeing what's coming up, like the Marvels and like seeing that the King Dynasty is going to come out and the Fantastic Four are going to come into play.
Is King Dynasty a movie or a show?
Movie.
Okay.
That's the next Avengers movie.
I think that's supposed to be like the end game.
Well,
equivalent to the saga, I thought.
So it goes Endgame. Well, sorry, it goes King Dynasty, then Secret Wars.
Oh, that's right.
And King Dynasty is going to be like the Infinity War, and then Secret Wars is going to be like Endgame. But I think we should just end it because we've gone for a while.
I like how Hayden only gave his thoughts of like, yeah, I liked the movie.
Well,
we didn't.
We've also gone forever, but unless you want to talk more about it.
Well, I mean, just like the stuff I didn't like is kind of some of the stuff you guys were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, I just feel I can see what this movie's trying to do, and looking from it like as not from like the actual movie plot point, but like I feel like they were trying to make this movie like a stepping stone into, like even the marketing is like saying, you know, like, oh, this is the first step in Phase 5 in a new saga. And like I can see it for what it is, and I feel like it did a good job. It accomplished that goal, and so that I think that's where I'm looking at it from, and like I like it because it did what it was set out to accomplish. But like from a plot point, I can like understand where some of the reviews are like, well, it's kind of just stuff we've seen before. It's nothing like out there, like nothing new and groundbreaking for what we've already seen. So I feel like I could have done better at like pushing the boundaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, like it's a good step forward into what it's going to become, but it's not a big step forward. Like, it's not like jumping from one thing to another. It's like one step to going to that next big step.
It's a stepping stone, not a leap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, that's good. I like it.
Yeah.
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 Just can't wait for what happens in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
I feel like that's all that we can do right now.
Yeah. But, yeah. Well, that's it for the episode. And catch us in the next episode where we talk about something else. And,
Whoa.
yeah. Well, thanks for listening to this episode. If you liked this, you should go check out our other stuff. If you're on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please leave a review. Check out our other videos on YouTube where we have bonus content outside of a podcast. And if you like that, please like, comment, and subscribe to also help our channel grow. Recommend us to your friends so they can also enjoy the dynamic duo of a lifetime.
And check us out on TikTok and Instagram at AJS_podcast. And check out my art stuff on Instagram at Babby_Yammy. And we'll see you in the next one.
See ya!